Hey everybody, and welcome back to the Rocksmith live stream. My name's Dan Amrick. I'm your pal with the weird hair, and today we're going to be doing the music of everyone's favorite artist, Variety Pack 15. We have 4 different songs from 4 different artists, and these songs have gone over very well. I think we got one right, gang. We can all celebrate because we've got Spacehog, we've got U2, we've got The Shadows, and we've got Badfinger. And we're going to play all 4 of those songs today. We're going to give away some stuff. Of course, our friends at Ernie Ball have graciously given us some prizes, so we'll pass those around. We'll also give you Steam codes for the DLC that we're playing this week. You'll have the opportunity to ask some questions for people, and it's sort of the usual ridiculousness, but with one big difference that I'll talk about when we get back. But take a look at the trailer. This is Variety Pack 15. Wow, we made it to 15. And this is available now on all platforms. When we come back, we'll start playing these songs toot sweet. So thanks for being here. I don't know about you, but those songs give me a warm, happy glow. I recognized all of them. I think a lot of people recognized most of the songs this week. And so, yeah, the thing that makes this show different, I mentioned this right before we went to the trailer. Many of you know that Brian Pody, one of our note trackers, is also usually the person running the board, but Brian Pody is also a proud new dad. Son number 3, Dashiell, was delivered in the wee hours of, Wednesday morning or something like that. So Pody is out on paternity leave for a while. Congratulations to him and his wife for making it through. But that also means that the rest of us are like, how does this work? So thankfully, Pody left instructions and gave us all tutorials. And so like Anthony and Sam and David are all in the back running the wheels of steel. But here's the beautiful part about all this. Because Pody taught us what to do, if it doesn't work, say it with me, it's Pody's fault. So that's the great news, is that no matter what happens, it's Pody's fault. Hashtag it's Pody's fault. You would think that we would do that last in the end song by the end, but we're not going to. We're going to do Spacehog right now. We're going to kick it off with In the Meantime, and I'm very happy to welcome Rykin back to the show, and Jason Kokel, of course, once again. Hello.
Hello.
Good to be here.
Thank you, because Pody was going out, we've had some problems filling all the slots this week, and there was a little bit of hair on fire towards the end. So thank you for jumping in on guitar. Especially since Jason did the note track. So Jason knows what all the parts are. And you normally would play guitar, but you're like, oh, I want that bass. I want the bass. Very, very active, fun bass line, yeah?
Yeah, it was, I worked on, previously to working on Rocksmith, I worked on a prominent music rhythm game. It was very famous. And
does it rhyme with Guitar Bureau or Mockmand?
It was the second one.
Okay.
Actually both, but the second one. But for that one, the first thing that I ever heard of this song was the isolated bass track. And I was like, this is incredible. And then I listened to the whole song together. I was like, oh, yeah, it really is something special. So, I jumped on the bass for this.
That's great.
Yeah.
And Rye, you're going to be doing the lead arrangement. There's a lead and there's an alt lead. And the lead is sort of a combination of the rhythm parts
that goes back to the rhythm on the chorus. Yeah.
Okay. And you chose that because you said it was more fun, right? Like you just
I like the chorus, you know.
Okay.
Yeah, because the other parts not as audible in the chorus part. So
accurate.
Yeah, this is an awesome tune.
All right.
I'm a fan as well of this one.
Cool. Well, let's do it. This is In the Meantime by Spacehog, one of the 4 songs. We have 4 songs this week in Variety Pack 15. You can get all these individually or as a pack. They're all available right now on all platforms. When we come back, fresh giveaways. We kick it off with Ernie Ball. allow it.
That was not. That was it.
That was okay. Trust me. You went with the moment, and we are never going to penalize you for that. Oh, wow. Hey, people have noticed that you were really into the bass line, Kokol. Yeah, people are like, he is so into it, but it's, I mean, that's just total ear candy. All the parts just go together so well. I forgot that it has...
This is like Faith No More, that
yeah.
Faith No More song.
I forgot it has then the reverse piano
Excellent
swing.
ending.
Yeah, that is a hell of a track. That's wonderful. Accidental solo says so hey, that's fine.
Yeah, super fun.
Yeah, super fun and really worth. Yeah, a lot of people said, "Oh, I didn't think that the bass line was that involved and intense," and it is.
It is, and it's also the singer who plays bass.
Oh, really?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, I
the
didn't know
singer
that.
plays bass at the same time, and I've watched several videos of him doing it, and he nails it. He's such a good singer and a good bass player. Like, yeah,
wow.
Those parts, the vocal melody in the verses and the bass line, don't exactly work. Like, it's not like, oh, I'm just singing roots and whatever.
Right.
Yeah,
they sort of dance around each other.
Yeah.
I actually went to see this band back in the day at that Whiskey in Hollywood in the 90s when this, before I was like, that was it though. We never heard from them again.
Yeah.
They were kind of like on the Oasis tip, but like fully
right.
sort of like, I don't know where they're from, but they were sort of doing the British invasion.
Yeah, they're from England.
Style.
Are they British? They're from England? Okay. Yeah, cool. Well, thank you both. That was a great way to start the show.
Aren't you going to ask us about like performance tips and like?
Oh, if you'd like to, yeah.
Well,
if you
I
have
was
anything
thinking
that you want to impart.
for the very beginners, this part super simple. Notice down, up, picking. Very important. If you're just starting out, you might be like, "Why do that?" It's easier to go down. But for timing, and flow, the down up is like outside picking. It's a good skill to get on when you're very, very first starting out. Second thing.
Yeah, no, that's fine. I don't.
Is the outro solo. Major pentatonic. This box that most guitarists know and love, pentatonic minor, box 1.
Yep.
But if you're an A, you'd be like, well, let's start on 5, right? But if you just simply subtract 3 frets or go down a minor third, for all you music majors out there.
All right.
That nice little, sweet little country southern rock. But it's a good trick. If you don't know anything about that scale, you can still use the minor pentatonic box. Down 3 frets.
And there you
You're good to go. Some of that works.
Excellent.
All right, that's my little 2 cents.
Thank you. Your 2 cents are more valuable than you know. Hey, that's song 1, and now this is giveaway 1. Let's do the Ernie Ball prize pack. Our friends at Ernie Ball always give us some free stuff, and I'm happy to say last week I didn't have the box. This week I have the box, so I can tell you here exclusively the straps are navy blue. They're really nice. It's a really nice dark blue. And somebody is going to get that strap as well as everything that you see here. So we've got a dozen picks from Ernie Ball there in the center, as well as 3 of our Rocksmith picks, the pink Skullboy picks. You can only get them here. Also, yeah, brand new strings. That's what Ernie Ball is very much famous for. So you're going to get regular slinky strings in both guitar and bass varieties. You're going to get a peg winder, because what good is strings if you don't know how to change them efficiently? Well, a peg winder makes that a heck of a lot easier. And the Wonder Wipe system, which is a pre-moistened towelette that has interesting stuff on it, like guitar polish or string cleaner or fretboard conditioner. Take the muss and fuss out of maintaining your guitar and making it play all pretty like with the Wonder Wipe. So somebody's gonna win all of the stuff that you see on the screen right now, and I'll throw a couple of other extra things in there, like a Rocksmith sticker, maybe a keychain. I still have a few of the keychains left. So who knows what you're going to get in the box? But I will pack that box and try to get it out to our mailroom tomorrow. And then hopefully you'll get it by next week. Mad Al is in our chat room. He just mentioned that he got his prize pack recently. And if you get a prize pack, it's really like the nicest possible thing you can do is brag about it. If you go onto Twitter or Facebook or something like that and just take a quick snapshot of the prize pack and then like tag Ernie Ball so that Ernie Ball sees that you are getting their stuff through us, that actually helps us a heck of a lot. It helps justify it. Because as you can understand, like a company like Ernie Ball is like, why are we sending them free stuff every week? What are we getting in return? That little pass along, that's the kind of stuff that helps. I mean, I'm a shill at this point, and I'm comfortable with that because I've always liked Ernie Ball stuff anyway. I was in a guitar store this weekend, and I was like, they had the import version, the Sterling version of the St. Vincent in blue, and the neck felt so good. Sam knows what I'm talking about. Sam Schwartz is like, oh, no, I know what it's like to have loved and lost in a guitar store. Brian Shue in the middle as well. Hi, guys.
Hello.
Thanks for being here. What are you guys playing? Oh, you're playing that one.
Yep, that one.
Yep.
You're playing Bad by U2, which was a song that I think people didn't expect. I think from Unforgettable Fire, people were more expecting us to do something like New Year's Day or Sunday Bloody Sunday, or one of like really big things. But this wound up being a particularly good, like back to basics kind of song, right? There's a lot of good fundamentals and a lot of straightforward parts in this, which makes it what we lovingly call low-hanging fruit for new players. Because sometimes things look too complicated. Is that the case? Is bass and guitar both kind of like beginner to intermediate level?
Yeah.
Bass is a little more complicated than you would think for a U2 song. It's interesting because like I think this is one of their earliest recordings, right?
Second album.
So their second album, and he's
Third
still.
album?
Yeah, you can tell he's still like he's moving a lot more than he does on later records. Like we transcribed some stuff that's later in their career, and you can tell he really settles into no, I'm just doing the groove, and that's just a thing that he does later on. But like he does like a couple, like he does more slides and like a couple more things, and he's trying to see where he fits in, and it's really cool to see like what he's doing. Yeah, it's cool to transcribe a band throughout their career. You get to really like get intimate with like what they were thinking.
Yeah, and you sort of see their development from a different side.
Right, from their like where was their head at that whole time? It's really really fascinating stuff to do.
Guitar-wise, Edge is known as a very sparse player, somebody who uses a lot of effects and does a lot of textural stuff.
Yeah, so the actual guitar part is pretty easy. All the complex stuff you hear in the background is actually like a delay that's set up for like a dotted eighth or something.
It's a dotted eighth, yeah.
And then it just kind of in stereo, so it bounces back and forth between both ears. And yeah, but it's a pretty simple part. It's there's not much to it.
All right. Well, then let's do it.
Yeah.
It's Bad by
We're
U2.
bad.
Well, one of the 4 songs in the Variety Pack 15. And listen for Brendan West's tones of that dotted eighth delay. That's baked into the song, but you can use it outside of the song if you go into Tone Designer.
Turn away if
I see what you mean. The bass moves around a lot, but the guitar is kind of, it stays where it is, and it lets the effects kind of fill out the space rather than a lot of notes. It's very sparse.
Yeah. Edge is really smart about how he how little he plays. It's just like, it's just clever. It's like, oh wow, like you don't have to do much, and then it sounds great, you know.
I assume you've seen the documentary It Might Get Loud.
No,
the guitar.
I need
Oh,
to
it's
see that.
fantastic.
I know,
It's a guitar documentary where Jack White, The Edge, and Jimmy Page all get together and sort of discuss the craft of guitar. And they spend some of the documentary, the Edge portion, is him at home in his studio with like racks of effects, and he explains this is how he writes his riffs, is he lets the effects dictate what he plays, which is not a common way to do it, but it's really fascinating to see how deep he will go and how specific everything gets. But he once said, he said, every time I pick up the guitar, I approach it like I've never played guitar before. Like, what can I do with this thing? Which is another, you know, again, and I think that's one of the reasons he winds up doing sparse parts or doesn't feel like he has to overplay. Because he takes a completely different approach, and he wound up with a very unique sound. Yeah, like you know it's him. Doesn't matter what effects he has, you still know it's him. It just sounds like him.
It just sounds like the Edge. Yeah, he just has he has a really cool way of approaching the instrument.
Speaking of his instrument too, to get his sound, it's those middle positions on a Strat.
Yeah,
that really clean, spanky sound that it gets. It's just like pristine. I love it.
Yeah.
Cool.
Cool thing.
Cool.
Thank you both very much. Hey, we're going to take a short video break, but that means good news for you because that means that you're going to get a chance to win the DLC that we're playing here. We are doing the Music of Variety Pack 15. So if you're just coming in, don't go away. We've got a short video for you to watch, which, once again, I have scheduled but completely forget what it is. And during that time, our friend UB Vertigo, that's Doug, our community manager in the chat room. Say hello to UB Vertigo, everybody. He will administer the raffle. We've got 5 codes for the Variety Pack 15 on Steam to give away right now. While you're watching this video, all you have to do is enter the raffle. Look to Doug for instructions on how to do that. You must be following our channel. You don't have to subscribe. This is not a paid thing. Just click the little heart to say, I follow you, Rocksmith, I like it. And that will make you eligible for the raffle as long as you enter in the command that he will then tell you, or that you will see everybody else actually typing in as well. Just follow the crowd on this one. And when we come back, we have that instrumental that people have been asking for literally years with Shane and Anthony. So stick around. We will be right back with more of the Rocksmith livestream after this.
I'll tell you, learning guitar in general was way out of the zone for me. It's not something I always laid awake at night hoping I could play music one day. I play it because it is hard. Hi, I'm Miles Bristow. I live in St. Petersburg, Florida. I have 3 children, a wife, beautiful wife, and I play guitar. At least now I do. Music was sort of not something I grew up with. Grew up in a house with no radio, TV, not allowed to go to the movies, no dancing. A coworker said, you gotta go see this band. I looked up at them, they were all in their 40s, like me, and I said, you know, that's what I want to do. I want to learn guitar, I want to play music. When I first turned on the game, it kind of said, this is how to hold a pick. This is what the neck does. You know, I didn't know any of these things, so it spoon-fed the notes. So it would be like every 4 beats, or whatever it is I could handle, it would just give me that, plus a little bit of extra. Once I was into this contest and realized there was a contest and decided to do it, I discovered this community. So this experience has given me access to a larger community, which is really why I think people stay in it. When I had my first Skype call with Anthony, it was, so one of you asked me, have you tried Master Mode? And I hadn't. But for these songs, I turned on Master Mode. I started using the game to learn a song. Coach Anthony had given me some ideas on just repeating some sections and kind of committed to memory. What I'm gonna do now is turn the game off. I'm actually just gonna try to play it. So I did stuff like I was playing and then I absolutely just stopped, like mid-song. but I realized that I'd missed a chord or I missed a note or absolutely blanked out and forgot like what song I'm even playing. Like I couldn't even continue. So there were two things I went with when I picked the songs for this contest. Number one, lead, absolutely. Probably because it's hard, right? And I did pick some pretty ambitious songs. Number two, there were songs that I've enjoyed listening to. I like them, so I'm like, I'm gonna play that. And that's really what this performance is all about. Well, yeah. So sound check wasn't perfect. On a scale of 1 to 10, I feel 10 excited, about a 9 terrified. I got some good advice downstairs in the performers' green room. They said, you already know the song. You played it 6 million times. Your brain's getting in the way and you're overthinking it. Just go up there and play. So that's what I'm gonna do. I'm just gonna come up on stage and I'm just gonna play.
I was completely terrified when I was downstairs. When I got on stage, it was like a whole different person. I had this chill that went up my spine, and then I just went out, and I don't even know what I did. It was an out-of-body experience. I just want to say thank you, Rocksmith, for making this impossible dream come true. I just can't even believe it. What a night.
Oh, I'm up? Oh, see, I thought you were going to let that fade out a little bit. Here I am running around doing extra stuff. We're not professional here on the Rocksmith live stream. Hi, everybody. My name is Not Professional Dan Amrich, and I am your Not Professional community developer. And what you're watching is the train wreck without Pody. But it's Pody's fault because he's not here. He went off and he had his baby, and that's great. I mean, technically, his wife had the baby, but he did have some part in it, I suppose. And so Pody is now off for several weeks while he does not sleep, because that's what having an infant does to you. But while he's off on paternity leave, we are determined to keep the home fires burning, and we'll see Pody sometime later on in the summer. But in the meantime, you're stuck with fine folks like Shane Gann and Anthony Martinez. Not really stuck at all when you think about it. Hi, fellas.
Hey, Dan. How's
And
it going?
thank you for finally uniting the Ernie Ball Music Man instruments. This is a couple of comments about the St. Vincent signature model. This is the U.S. signature model. There is a slightly more affordable Sterling version, which is an import version.
Which is also quite nice.
Dude, when we were at the guitar store, I was
That's
like,
right.
I want this. And now I've actually started thinking, like, I've got to figure out what to get rid of in my collection.
It was hard not to check out all the other guitars I want to buy.
Oh, yeah,
while I
it's
was
ridiculous.
Yeah.
But and then you've got the Caprice bass. A lot of people
I love
ask
this
about
bass.
this. This is like, honestly, if you are putting together a studio and you need one bass that does everything, this is the
Yeah.
one that like everybody here loves. Yes,
Yeah.
it's a PJ configuration. The tone is all over the map. It's wherever you want it to be. The satin neck is like butter. And it's just, yeah, it looks classy and it feels amazing and it sounds great.
It arrived set up to my liking.
Yeah, yeah. Well, we asked, would you please give it the Martinez
was-
touch? That would be great.
It's pretty amazing.
Yeah.
I love playing this bass.
But do you want to tell them about your guitar? Because you did get a guitar this weekend.
Oh my gosh, yeah. I can't wait to get home so I can play it.
should've
That's
brought
how
it
it's
in.
been for the past couple of days. I
Good.
almost did. Yeah.
That's how you know it's the
I
right
might,
guitar.
I might save it for a show and tell stream
okay.
number 2.
All right. Well, then we'll just leave it there.
But actually, yeah, well, it's a Taylor 716 CE. Spruce top, rosewood sides and back, mahogany neck, ebony fingerboard. It just plays wonderfully. And Dan found the posting for it online. He sent it my way, and the deal was too good to be true.
Yeah,
so it seemed.
Yeah, the price was incredible. I like to think of myself as the guitar whisperer, you know, and so like
Yes.
if you need a guitar, I can help you shop for a guitar. I can spend your money, and I helped you spend more money than I think you had originally come in expecting to do. But you still wound up getting
slightly over,
Yeah.
what I had anticipated. But I mean, well worth it. What an amazing get!
And you got a
Yeah.
ridiculously stupid good deal for like a used guitar that was mint in case that neither of us could see anything wrong with.
Right, yeah.
And and yeah, like you would not normally be able to get a 700 series for what you paid, and I'm really glad that you did.
Oh,
and,
same here. Yeah.
yeah.
And cheers.
So yeah, we'll look into getting an excuse to get it into the office at some point. We will do another show and tell encore at some point.
That'd be great.
Yeah, and for the second one, maybe I'll let other people do it too, because I really just want to bring in 4 instruments and just hog the whole damn.
There should be a Dan Amrich segment.
Here's Dan's corner, where Dan brings in one of his other 20 guitars, and shows you that he can't play them. How you doing, Shane?
I'm all right.
Yeah, you're looking good.
Yeah. You want to buy me a guitar sometime?
No. I'll
I
help
got a
you
really
buy a
small
guitar.
budget.
Yeah, well, okay, I can work with that. This is
good.
rare that he had no, I'm not going to say a crazy budget, but you had a generous budget because you went looking for an heirloom acoustic, and that was the key word. Don't just go for a good playing thing. Go something that you're going to want for the rest of your life and maybe hand down. And I did the same thing when I bought my acoustic.
It was a birthday gift to myself.
Yeah.
You know, I wanted to invest in something nice. And
congratulations for being born.
Hey, thank you. And thank me.
Yeah, and thank you. And I guess your mom, but not really.
Thanks, Mom. Thanks, Dad.
Thanks, Mom. There you go. So which of you fine note trackers tracked the song, if either? Is it A, Anthony, B, Shane, or C, Kokol?
Actually,
It's D.
Pody. Right?
Yes, Pody.
Oh, this was a Pody
Yes.
song.
Yeah.
Okay.
So thanks a lot, Pody. No, it's a I love
Pody
this
song.
song. Yeah, it's so much fun. I'm glad that we're able to play it today.
Well, telling little tales out of school. This is Apache by the Shadows, one of the most legendary British guitar bands. In the UK, their guitarist Hank Marvin, who plays a very distinctive red Fiesta Red Strat, is still considered a god today because he really laid the groundwork for a lot of guitarists, and a lot of people looked up to him, who later went on to make a lot of like British heavy rock and stuff. But this is where it started. But long ago, when we were having one of our planning meetings and brainstorming meetings, and I believe you brought up, you're like, we should do an instrumentals pack.
Yeah.
It was either you or it was McCune, but I know this was something that you kind of tried to shepherd, and we got a whole bunch of instrumentals, and then that kind of turned into the surf pack, where people said, oh, but this is a surf song. But I don't consider this a surf rock song. It's an instrumental, and it could certainly stand alongside a surf, but there's something distinctive about the reverb and sort of the vibe of surf rock that isn't really here. This is just a good old-fashioned instrumental.
Sure.
So, yeah, so neither of you did the track, so I don't have to ask you for information. You're just going to play it, and I can stop talking?
Let's do it.
Let's see if I can stop talking. I don't know if it's possible. It's Apache by the Shadows, with Hank Marvin on guitar being played by Shane Gann. And after this, we will do a Q&A. I've got a couple of questions here and there, but ask some more. We'll get to them after this song. Not one person in the audience was unhappy with that. Although there were a lot of Fresh Prince of Bel-Air jokes because that melody does play into one of the show's classic moments.
Sure does.
But yeah, great song, just
Oh,
solid
man.
all the way through, and a lot of fun. And triplets, many triplets. Yeah.
That kind of stuff. Pretty
I
fun.
like
Very
it with
fun.
I like it with the crunch tone.
So,
Yeah.
would you mind talking about the picking technique you're using to
Right there?
to achieve that like feel and like? So is it down, down, up, down?
Yeah, basically, I'm trying to maintain a consistent pattern. So the fastest that I'm picking is that da-da-da. So I'm making that my rhythm and building everything off of that. So that would be like a across the board, but only hitting. But my right hand still inherently is following that pattern, and I'm just choosing when to sit out kind of thing.
Sure.
So yeah, get in the, start real slow. But it's just alternate picking at that point.
Yeah, I like the idea of rolling with a consistent picking pattern because you won't, flip the pattern and get things mixed up. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like having it down, down, up, down, down, up, down. Yeah,
Right.
There's
It
more.
keeps you moving forward. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Cool. Thanks,
Yeah.
man.
No problem.
Yeah.
And the whammy bar.
Yeah, it just
That's
so
really
happens that
cool,
this one
yeah.
has a
Stevens
tremolo
as
that's
well.
really well
Stevens
set up.
reminded me that this was up here. And
Yeah,
then I
it's
saw
like,
Rob
oh,
play it.
well, there you go.
Yeah. Couldn't not.
Hey, are you guys down for a few questions? Because I have some things that
Sure.
are relevant.
Question
Sure.
us.
There's a joke in there about elephants, and I'm going to let it go. John LR2000 and a couple other people said, wait a minute, there's coaching? Clutching Up said when they saw the Miles Bristow video, which was the Miles' story when he played Rocksmith Live, they said, wait a minute, there's coaching? Because he mentioned, he's like, yeah, my coach Anthony talked to me. And you see a little bit of the coaching in there, which was literally just Skype calls. So people are like, wait, how do I get Rocksmith people to coach me? So as you know, Rocksmith is designed to teach you how to play guitar, but not necessarily perform live. When we did the whole Rocksmith Live experiment, we knew we were taking a leap of faith. We wanted to find people that felt confident enough in their abilities that wanted to play live, but had not really yet played live without the game and anything. So there is that's just not something that Rocksmith was designed to do, was to show you how to have the confidence or how to play with a band. So we worked with each of the participants, with Tim and Audrey and Miles, just over Skype, because at that point it became a different relationship. It's not just what the game teaches you. We had then asked these people, will you please put yourself out there live on stage in a major San Francisco club? And what questions do you have? Where are you? Where do you feel comfortable? And then it became a very one-on-one thing. So each player that was in the show was assigned a coach. And you took on Miles, and we talked about where he was, what his influences were. Like, we found Miles through a very short audition video. But then, of course, there's more to everybody than their 3-minute audition video, and finding out what inspired him and what techniques he was having trouble with. So that's where the coaching. There is not normally Rocksmith coaching. Anthony is not coming over to your house and showing you how to play guitar. But that's when he says Coach Anthony. Like, that was over a series of about 2 months, and we would check in with him every week or every 2 weeks or something. And I was there for a lot of the calls because I was holding the camera, and that's the only reason. Otherwise, it would have just been you guys. And, like, hey, make sure you work on this, or, like, these are the 3 songs that you're going to do. We let them choose their 3 songs, and then finding out what are your trouble spots on these songs, because we just wanted them to shine. And it's the same kind of practice you would do if you were in a band or if you were preparing for a recital with a teacher. We just didn't have the benefit of being there with them and seeing weekly progress and stuff. So we just did it over digital.
Yeah, we took it song by song. Section by section, like you said, identified areas that needed to be worked on, and just focused on those techniques and really learning the material inside and out, so that there was no question where you were supposed to be at any given point in the song.
Yeah.
And then after that, working on stage presence and focusing on little things like breathing.
Yeah.
That
well, he was. Yeah,
and that's easy to forget about when you're on stage, but just like trying to be relaxed, be present, and focus on, the songs that you already know how to play.
Yeah, I mean, Miles is good at what I call being himself on purpose, but he was scared. Like when he realized how much we got to the venue, we got to Fantasy Studios, and we did the rehearsals and stuff, and he was like, oh boy, I don't know if I can do this. And so, like he needed that personal touch, and obviously he did a great job. He did rise to the occasion,
absolutely.
But it is frightening to go from your living room to a packed club in San Francisco. It's a very different experience that Rocksmith simply doesn't prepare you for, and why would it?
And how could you prep for something like that? Because going from like bedroom or living room playing to performing at a big club in
no
a
visual
big city,
cues.
yeah, that's quite a leap. It's not like, okay, I'm going to play at an open mic at the cafe around the corner.
Right.
Like, this is a bigger venue.
I'm gonna make a fool of myself in front of 10 people. Oh no, this is being videotaped, and there's all these people here live, and they've all been drinking. So you never know. It could always go. Broken bottles.
That works to your benefit usually.
Well, I mean, you would know. You tour. When are you going back on tour with Hail the Sun?
Yeah.
I leave after next Friday, and we start Warped Tour the Wednesday after that. We have rehearsal or production day, which is leading up to the day after. Will be the Thursday, the 21st, in Pomona, and we'll be on Warped Tour for 3 weeks.
Congrats, man.
Yeah,
Thank
that's
you.
great.
Thank you.
hailthesun.bandcamp.com. That's the place to go. Somebody brings up a good point. Boozdy says, how about that for an encore? How to play with other people live. I'm not really sure if that can be done in an encore, but we'll kick that idea around because maybe people have
that is
advice.
a really good idea.
I mean,
it could be covering the topics that we explored during coaching, before the big event.
Yeah,
that's a great idea.
Maybe we already
Thank
know
you.
it. Question about Guitarcade from PedroBot2000. Is there a way to get the Guitarcades to match your display preferences for regular songs? For instance, I play lefty, and I use the inverted string display, so it looks more like tablature. Don't forget you can do that if you're used to reading tab. And it messes me up when I do some Guitarcade stuff. I don't know. So I hope one of you guys can pull my fat out of the fire.
Actually,
here.
I'm not quite sure either. David Stevens.
David Stevens doesn't know either. So
to the best of my knowledge, they're all designed and they're all kind of their own standalone products.
Yeah,
And I don't
unfortunately-
Yeah, that's how
really
I
have
understand
the-
it.
Yeah, this is also telling a little tales out of school, but different parts of Rocksmith were sometimes shared with different people. When you load up, you may have noticed that Longtail Studios shows up on one of the effects pedals in that in the picture, and Longtail really worked on a lot of the Guitarcade stuff. So they did do a few things differently. And I think that's probably one of the things where, like, oh, yeah, we did this like the settings is different in that because they sort of built it as a silo. So it's something that we will definitely keep in mind for the future. But, sorry, that's probably not the answer you wanted. How do you get those really long sustains? This is a PedroBot2000's follow-up question. My notes always seem to run out of gas. How do you get more sustain out of your signal? Because you guys are doing it in the same songs and they're not. So it's not about compression or an effects loop because you're all playing through the same digital effects if you're playing, say, Apache.
The same tones.
Right,
Yeah.
right.
So it's fingers.
First, I would think about all the things that could be preventing me from being able to sustain a note, and it could start with the instrument itself. If if the action is too low or something, if there's something about the instrument that's preventing you from sustaining notes, then that could be the source of the issue. I would recommend calibrating too to make sure that you can achieve longer sustains in game. And really also focus on technique and more specifically just fretting notes cleanly. Excellent. I was hoping I had some sound. So, for example, I will fret the final note of the last song that we played, Apache. It's that A. I'm not pressing down too hard, but I'm not pressing down light to the point where I'm getting that buzz. See, you can hear the sustain die out a little more.
Because it's rubbing against your finger.
Because, I'm not pressing down hard enough. So I don't want to press down so hard that I'm bending the note out of tune, but press it down long enough to make sure that you can sustain the tone of the note. Also, you don't want anything to touch the string that you're fretting and, the note that you're trying to sustain, because, my other finger or my arm rubs up against it, it's just going to kill the signal altogether. And yeah, obviously, like the velocity of the attack also makes an impact too. If you want to attack it, you want to attack the note hard enough to where it sounds loud and you can sustain it for a long period of time.
And getting that magic point is something you can do on the couch. Like a lot of us
Oh,
just sort
absolutely.
of noodle away when we play on the couch unamplified. But if I mean, that's a very simple drill. You don't have to be playing anything specific. But if you just work on your finger pressure and trying to get, the natural resonance of your guitar, you can get sustain out of a guitar without it being amplified.
Absolutely.
But that's, if you're looking for a way to practice it.
I might start there even. That's a really good idea. Yeah, just play acoustically and make sure that you can sustain notes without Rocksmith, and then after plug in, tune and calibrate. And see where it goes from there.
Because if it is something wrong with the instrument, if you've got like a tall fret, or if you're accidentally hitting it with your palm and accidentally tuning it, those are the kind of things that will show up right away, even without outside of the game context. It's just your relationship with the instrument and its setup. So.
Yeah, I mean,
Totally true.
I typically, if I'm wearing a long sleeve shirt, I will roll up my sleeves because I know that they will touch
absolutely.
the
Or
bridge
the
or the
little
strings.
strings from my hoodie.
Yeah.
Sometimes
Yes,
they'll-
I've
That's a
had
good
that
point.
happen too. Yeah, that's notorious.
Yeah.
A couple of other quick questions. I'm going to just do these rapid fire. Rob Aluga says, any chance of more than 2 players in multiplayer? Nope. For one, there's not enough screen real estate. I know that a lot of people would love to see a 3-person thing where lead rhythm and bass could all play together. Not on the docket for that. Sorry. C.00 says, does it make sense to upgrade a cheapish guitar with more expensive hardware, like locking tuners and better pickups, etc., or just saving up for a higher priced guitar? Have we got an encore series for you? To answer that specific question,
That's
Brian
my
Pody.
move.
Yeah.
on
Well,
record.
then again, you've got some really good guitar. You've got like a Gibson SG
that I
which
bought when I was 15 and a half off, used on eBay. And
Right.
I've had it the whole time. So yeah, it's a nice guitar, but the whole time I've had it, it's just been
it's pretty
upgrades
thrashed.
and,
Yeah.
Yeah, stuff
I would-
like that.
I would
So
also, yeah, I'm sorry. go ahead.
for it. No, I just want to say, yeah. And
Well, the other
Pody
thing, the other guitar that you have surprises a lot of people. It's a
True.
first act VW Garage Master,
and it was
right?
given to me, yeah.
Yeah, and I love that guitar. I think it's
Me
great,
too.
but you've like really dialed it in. So people, when you got that guitar free with a car, or
Yeah.
whatever, and I don't know. But yeah, it is worth upgrading a cheap guitar.
A lower budget.
Yeah, a lower budget guitar can become a very good sounding and very much more playable instrument with upgrades. But the question becomes, how much do you want to sink into it?
Right.
How much is it really going to cost you? Quality pickups, generally $100 to $150 a set. Tuners can easily hit $75, especially if you're going for a good name brand locking tuner like Ratio or Schaller or Spurzl or something like that. And then it just goes up from there. But Brian Pody took this challenge. He took a guitar that was about $150 when we started. It's a Squier Strat, very common beginner instrument, good looking, played okay, but like we all have champagne taste here, so we're like, yeah, I would bet you could do better. So he wound up disassembling the entire thing, upgrading it, putting in new pickups that he himself built, which was amazing. And he goes through this over 3 different shows. The first one is disassembling and going over the parts of the guitar. Then the second one is soldering and routing and all the crazy extra stuff that he did. And then the third one was reassembly and learning how to set up your guitar. If you only watch one of those encores, watch that third one, because it's how to like set up your action. A lot of the things that we talk about, getting the strings the right height from the fretboard so they feel good and resonate, and that you do not rob yourself from sustain from being too low.
Right.
All kinds of stuff like that. So there is a 3-part encore series here on Twitch. If you just look in our previous videos, you will find it. And I think you will get the definitive answer if you watch those 3 hours of video slowly over time. It's like a little mini-series. And Pody completely answers the question once and for all. And then you can figure out whether his course of action is one that you want to do. It certainly depends on how much your guitar is worth at the beginning. If you get a used American Gibson that's maybe a little thrashed, well then yeah, keep putting money into that, because it's probably a pretty good. It's probably worth more than you paid for it anyway, and then you can develop. But then again, you find one of my favorite instruments in my collection was $180, and I put a whopping like $75 worth of parts and service into it. For $250, it feels like it's a $500 bass. Like you get lucky, and only you know your relationship with your instrument.
Yeah, if it feels right,
put as much money as you need to into making it your baby.
But don't throw money at a bad guitar if
Right.
you know that it's just not for you. Don't try to salvage it. Then, you know, sell it for whatever you can get, whatever you feel is fair, and then, you know, save up
It's like
for
any
for-
relationship.
yeah, it really is.
Don't pour money into it if it's not worth it.
That's right. And our very last question today is from Thadden, which is, are you guys going to E3? Depends on who you guys are. Rocksmith will not have a presence at the E3 booth. We're asked every year. Keep in mind that E3 is really about what's new and what's about to come out. So you're going to see a lot of really good stuff come out of Ubisoft, but Rocksmith does not have a presence at E3 this year. That said, E3 is now half trade show, half public show, so some of you may actually be going to E3. There's going to be stuff you're going to want to check out in the Ubisoft booth. Don't get me wrong. I am just sworn to secrecy. We got the early tip, and some of it was really surprising and exciting to just us as gamers. I will actually be there next Tuesday, the 12th. So I will be just wandering around as me. Dollars to donuts, I'm going to be wearing a Rocksmith t-shirt. And in the pocket of my blazer, which inevitably, that's like the official uniform of E3, is your brand's shirt and then like a sport jacket. I will have some of the pink picks with me. So if you happen to see me at E3, please do approach, say hello, and I'll be happy to give you some picks. That's one of the only other ways you can ever get, like, you have to make physical contact with, and you know, don't bear hug me, but you can make physical contact with somebody in real meat space, then a lot of times, yeah, if we're doing an event. So, yeah, not the answer you wanted, but kind of like I'll be there, not everybody and not Rocksmith as a brand, but I'll be there going like, I'm at E3, and then I have to come back to work on Wednesday. So, oh well. That's it for the Qs and the As. If you have more Qs, we can give you more As over at Twitter. It's a good place to go, at Rocksmith Game. We're also on Facebook at facebook.com/Rocksmith. And we do check those every single day. But Doug and Tawny and I, we all chime in. Generally, the really polite stuff is from Tawny. The really obnoxious stuff is from me. It's pretty easy to tell them apart. If there's ever like more than 25 words in a response, it's probably me. And certainly by the time we get to 500-word responses, it's me. Yeah, we are here to answer your questions. Obviously, you can ask questions of the community, too. We have a lot of very knowledgeable players and people that know what they're talking about. So, yeah, thank you for the questions. We, of course, do that every week, and we'll do it again next week. So if you don't think of anything right now, that's okay. You got time to come up with it. In case you missed it, you may have noticed that this is Variety Pack 15, which means that, you know, an awful lot of things have been released before this. You could even say Variety Pack 1 through 14. And that's what you're seeing is 13 and 14, which means I am finally out of excuses. I'm going to have to make some new cards, or maybe we'll start over. I don't know. But this is Rocksmith Variety Pack 13 and 14, both fairly recent as they go. You know, these are both, I believe, 2018 releases. And George Thorogood was a huge hit with our audience from Variety Pack 13. And the outfield was something that I was very gratified to see that everybody liked, because that's a song from my youth. I certainly do like when other people appreciate music that I appreciate. I think that's a normal human being thing to feel. Yeah, the outfield was one that I think people didn't know that they wanted until they got it. So again, we love doing these variety packs, and it seems that you folks like it when we do these variety packs because everything goes really well. There's something for everybody. There usually is at least one song that week that you can say, well, I'll learn that song this week. That's great. And so hopefully you dig those. We are going to continue doing these until you stop buying them, quite honestly. As long as you are interested in seeing a variety, we will continue to bring a variety with the variety packs. So that leads us to our final song, which is Badfinger's Baby Blue. And I'm going to jump on bass just because I love this song. I love Beatles and Beatle-esque songs, and this definitely falls in there. They actually have a direct relationship with the Beatles because Paul McCartney wrote Come and Get It, which was one of their first hits.
Did not know that.
Yeah. David Stevens, ladies and gentlemen, our QA ninja. And you are not a note tracker.
I am not.
I am not a note tracker. Was this the other one that Kokol did?
Yes.
Okay, so Kokol, as you may have expected, is very, very good at what he does. And as a result, a lot of times he finishes note tracks early and can just pick up the next thing. So sometimes he does 2 songs in a pack. It happens. And this is one of those cases. So I said, which one do you want to play? Oh, I really want to play that bass line for Spacehog. I'm like, I totally understand. So David agreed to jump on Baby Blue. And how much have you practiced? Because
I've played through it a few times.
All right, I have played through it a few times, and I'm going to screw it up, but I have plateaued at 95. So if I get 90 when I'm on the air and I forget all the things that I've learned, I'll be happy. But it's not that complicated a bass line. It does vary a bit, but it really does. There's this beautiful thing, and if McCune was here, I would ask him all the nerdy musical reasons, but there's this descending riff on the yellow string that sort of seems to go in opposition to everything else.
Yeah.
But it creates this beautiful tension in the middle of the verses, and I'll call it out when I see it. But it took me by surprise, is why I bring it up, because it's not, this bass line does not just follow the roots all the way through, and there's some walking in there, and it's
really a cool
interesting.
song. There's a lot
it
going
is a great
on,
song.
but yeah, like you said, it's not too complicated.
Yeah,
it's pretty straightforward. We can talk about a couple of things after.
Sure.
Yeah,
as long as you don't murder me as soon as this song starts. It's Baby Blue by Badfinger, because you are the zombie guy, and I think if anybody
I don't know
here,
what you're talking about.
No, certainly not. You almost killed me as a Viking once. Now I just figure, like, if you think I'm making meth, I'm in trouble.
I don't know what's going on.
Guess I got what I deserve.
That's the riff.
Kept you waiting there too long, my love. All that time without a word. Didn't know you'd think that I'd forget or I'd regret. Special love I had for you.
just borrowing the ending from Abbey Road. Like that is just the end of Abbey Road, no matter how you slice it.
I just think of Hank laying there.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, you know, like. Hey, I did pull
yeah.
off 95. Right. It was a little sloppy, but I felt pretty good about it. There was just a couple of places where the bass sort of zigs while the guitar zags, like stuff that I would expect to hear. That little in the middle of the verse, and then there was another place in there where it just really seemed like the bass was creating tension and then resolving the tension, just because it wasn't in the area of the fretboard or in the scale that I would have expected it to be. And I think that's kind of what makes this so catchy, is that there are little moments like that where they've carefully layered parts.
Yeah, it adds contrast.
Yeah, where it's not just bass, follow the guitar, and just let the guitar show. But and sometimes it was rhythmic too. There were some things where the bass was playing off the beat or on the and beats while the guitar is strumming straight. You know, in the bridge especially. I noticed that. But you had mentioned you wanted to say something about it.
Oh, so there's right at the beginning of the song, there's a spot where there's a quick change between some double stops, and I wanted to kind of show a cheat.
Oh yeah,
that.
Please. We like
so it's on a B
cheats.
chord. You'll see the first notes. You know, it's like. So I don't know if you saw what I did there.
We're gonna see what you did there.
Yeah.
I think they're bringing in the close-up cam when we get a chance. There we go. Hello, close-up cam.
So you've got the you know, the fifth, just that chord, and then you've got this jump. Well, it's kind of awkward to make that quick shift. So what I do is actually just roll my pinky onto that note. So instead of playing here, you can I don't know if you get it. So I just roll my pinky down onto that note. And then I don't have to move any of my other fingers. I can just stay right in that B shape.
You're just snapping your knuckle?
Yeah.
Or, okay.
And maybe that's just something I do, but...
No, I do that too when I do D-sus4s and D-sus2s and stuff like that. I sort of fold the knuckle backwards, and my fingers let me do that. Maybe other people's don't. But
And really, it's not even... You know, I don't even need that much movement. I'm exaggerating a little bit for the audience, but it's the pad of your pinky. You know, you've got a lot of meat there to work with, and you can just... yeah, it's just a tiny little trick to kind of make things go a little smoother, a little faster, and a little easier.
Yeah. This is yet another good example of why you should be using your pinky at all times. I mean, we say it a lot because I know that a lot of guitarists don't like using their pinky. But man, it does make a difference, and it does give you more options on the fretboard. I mean, there's no reason to just use 3 if all you have are 4. Why not use all 4? But that's exactly the kind of thing. You're right. That's a good trick, and that's so distinctive. If you don't get that little trill, people be like, "That's not Baby Blue." Yeah, it really does make the song.
Kind of an iconic riff.
Yeah. Well, thank you, and thank you for the tip. Much appreciated. If you would like to have free meth, I don't have that for you, but I do have some Ernie Ball prize packs. This? Yeah, it's not that kind of show. We're not on AMC. What do you want? This is the Ernie Ball prize pack. We gave one away at the beginning of the show. This is the second one. If you won the first one, please don't enter. That would just be rude, because MooBot does not have any way to tell that you've already won. So if you want a prize today, please let somebody else win this. You can enter again next week if you must. But you're going to win everything you see here. Brand new peg winder. I think that's the main thing that people are really excited about from this is a small peg winder. And I don't know if people know this, but there's a little notch in the edge of the peg winders. If you've ever wondered what that's for, that's to help get the pins out of the bridge of your acoustic. I don't know if people know that, but that came up this week when Anthony and I were shopping for his guitar. Yes, it also is a simple crank that makes you turn the tuners easily when you put on your brand new strings. I'm going to do Price is Right style, like where one thing just flows into another. The regular Slinky strings are 10 to 46 gauge. You're also going to get the bass strings in the lower right-hand corner. I believe, what are those, 50 to 105s or 45 to 105s? I never see it, and I never bother to look at my own stream when I'm doing this. The Wonder Wipes is a maintenance system to clean and pamper your baby. Make sure that your guitar is in tip-top shape tape with clean strings, a good moisturized fretboard, and of course all the junk that you should be cleaning off of your finish, all those nasty fingerprints and the Cheeto dust. Get rid of them with a Wonder Wipe. It's very simple. And of course, you're going to get the brand new strap. This is a Polypro web strap. They are navy blue right now. They're navy blue. And you can, I'm sorry, I can't, there's nobody here to stop me anymore. Pody can't just, turn everything off. He didn't show you guys how to turn everything off, did he? I hope not. You'll get a navy blue strap, and you'll also get a dozen picks from Ernie Ball. They happen to be nylon picks. They send us different picks every time. And so you're going to get a dozen nylon picks, and you also get 3 of our pink Skullboy picks, which if you are not going to E3 on Tuesday in LA and don't happen to find me among thousands of people, this might be the better way to get those. So if you'd like to win all of that stuff, you've probably already know this, but in our chat room, our friend UB Vertigo, that's Doug, he's our community manager, he is telling you everything you need to know on how to enter this chat, the chat raffle right now. And when you win, because hopefully you will all win, but if you are the winner, please do answer his whisper. He's going to contact you to ask you for your address and phone number. And we do that so that the shipping company has a way to contact you if something goes wrong, because sometimes it does. But with that in mind, I will then pack the box as soon as I can and get all that gear out to you. So thank you for watching. And I appreciate that. That's our thank you to you, and of course from our friends at Ernie Ball. Is thanks for showing up. Here's free stuff. We know it. It's a bribe, plain and simple, but it's also really good gear that you can use, and it's worth about I'd say about $35 for the whole package. So hey, you're making out for not doing much, but just typing in the raffle thing in the chat room. You're doing out pretty well. Let's see. Next week we'll have more DLC, and we'll be back, and we will do this show next week. And what will the pack be? If you'd like to know, go to rocksmith.com tomorrow morning and check out the forums. Rolling Stone 222 is a friend of ours from the forums who was so good at doing the little puzzles that I was making, and when Jason Paradise was here, he was making some of those puzzles. He was too good, so we just recruited him, and now he makes the puzzles for us, which, let me tell you, is the best delegation I ever did, because I was spending 8 hours building puzzles that people would solve in 20 minutes. So in any case, if you would like to get on the early tip of what's coming next week, jump into the forums tomorrow morning when the puzzle is posted, work out what the puzzle means, solve the clue with your fellow Rocksmith folks, and you will get a confirmation at the end of that journey, at the end of the puzzle, of one song that's in the next pack. And then, of course, we'll reveal the rest over the course of like Sunday and Monday and Tuesday on social media. So show up tomorrow morning, see where it goes. And, if you're late to the thread, don't skip ahead. See where everybody's gone, because a lot of times people come up with the right answer for the wrong reason, and it's back on page 3, and they're on page 13, and they're pulling their hair out. So you might be the one that comes in late and goes, you know what, maybe I really think there's something to this, and you might well be right. You just have to actually solve the puzzle. It's not a guessing game, for what it's worth. If you just come in and go, I want it to be this band, so I'm guessing it's this band. No, that's not. Even if you get it right, we don't tell you. You have to solve the puzzle. So try that tomorrow at rocksmith.com in the forums. I already mentioned our social media platforms. We're on Twitter as @RocksmithGame, and we're on Facebook /Rocksmith. We do answer those messages, so if you send us a note, every once in a while somebody's like, I can't believe you answered. Well, if you didn't care enough to write, why would you bother to write if you didn't expect that we were listening? Of course we're listening, and we do try to answer as many comments and questions as we possibly can. We're in there pretty much every day. It might take us a day or two to find yours, depending on where you post it. But yeah, please do interact with us on Twitter and Facebook. We also have an Instagram. Not sure if people know that, but Doug has been making sure the Instagram is up to date. And guess what? That's @RocksmithGame as well. So, if you're into square images, we've got square images for you on Instagram. That's pretty much it. I mean, other than to remind you that we love all of you. And thank you for being here. We do this because you keep showing up, and I appreciate you letting me ramble endlessly about DLC that you might want to buy. And just in case you're still on the fence, here's another look at the trailer for this week's Variety Pack 15. We'll be back next week on this Twitch channel, twitch.tv/RocksmithGame, 3 p.m. Pacific, 6 p.m. Eastern, 10 p.m. UTC. If you're in Europe, please figure out where you are from UTC, which is the same as GMT, but they just call it UTC now. I don't understand Europe. We'll leave you with the trailer, and we'll see you next week. Bye, everybody. Thanks for being here.
the thing they call